This is ToDaPoint podcast. My name is Aurel and I'm a social worker and life coach with a huge passion for nutrition and fitness. So this podcast is about lifestyle, fitness and self-development in all areas of life to help you get in shape mentally and physically. So I strive to be as authentic as possible, and I believe the best way to do that is to talk about things that I have personally experienced. However, just like you, I'm still learning and I'm still improving. So from time to time, we will be having experts and like-minded people on this show to discuss certain topics. So I truly hope that the message I'm sharing inspires and motivates you to improve your life. Now let's get to the point. So today's episode is about 5 lessons that I've learned this year about love, relationships, and friendships. Since we're approaching the end of 2022, I thought it was a good idea to summarize some of the things that this year taught me about love and relationships. So because this year has gone by so fast, I kind of have a feeling that I didn't get a chance to actually sit back and reflect on all that has happened. So by talking about all this, I get an opportunity to actually process everything. So today's episode is not solely for me, but also for you to get some clarity on your relationships with people around you and to make changes if you find that necessary. So without further ado, I want to get into the first lesson that I've learned this year, and that's that you don't need anybody to have the closure you deserve. So this goes for romantic relationships and friendships. When someone hurts you, you want answers. You want to try and figure out why they did what they did and probably get an apology. In a situation where you can still have a conversation, this might be very helpful. But let's say someone cuts off all contact or just isn't willing to sit down and have a conversation, then it can get very unhealthy and draining for the person who feels the need to resolve and find closure. So I want you to realize this. You're perfectly capable of closing this chapter of your life without the help of the person who actually hurt you. You feel what you feel, whether this person is around or not, and you don't need their permission to tell you how and what to feel. So the same goes for closing the chapter. Yes, it would be satisfying for the ego to get an apology, but if you wait around for people to give that to you, you're going to have a pretty miserable life. Oftentimes we use closure as an excuse to keep holding on to the past. Don't give someone so much power that they control how you feel about yourself. You have the power to decide whether or not you choose to keep feeling the way you feel. So, lesson number 2 is that it's not your job to prove yourself to anybody to get the love you deserve. So, here's the thing. No matter how good you are to people, if they're not ready for or to accept love, there's nothing you can do to change that. We are deserving just by existing, just by being here on this planet. You need to find people who cherish you without you doing anything to deserve love. Don't hang around people who tolerate you, but hang out with people who celebrate you. You're worthy just by being you. And oftentimes we feel like we have to prove ourselves to someone for them to love us. But even then, there's no guarantee that they will. So lesson number 3, and I think this is one of the most important ones, and that's to trust your gut feeling. So whenever I ignore my gut feeling, also known as intuition, I usually get in trouble. I often say that my intuition never lets me down, but I let my intuition down. That feeling you get is there for a reason. So we tend to try and rationalize everything because that's what humans do. But I can tell you this. The reason you don't listen to this feeling deep down inside of you is because you don't know and you don't trust yourself enough. So every time you ignore this feeling, you're basically abandoning yourself. So I encourage you to start listening more and more often to your intuition, because I can guarantee you, the more you listen to it, the more you start trusting yourself, and you realize and notice that it will keep you out of trouble, out of painful situations. So number 4, being alone is better than being with the wrong people. So this goes for romantic relationships and also friendships. So one of the worst feelings is being surrounded by people who make you feel lonelier than when you're actually by yourself. So this has a negative impact on your mental state, thus also on your quality of your life. Don't be afraid to be by yourself if you feel like the people around you are not good for you. Find people who pour into you and give you positive energy. And you'll definitely start seeing the quality of your life change for the better. Last but not least, lesson number 5, and that's invest in yourself. So I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Investing in you will give you the best ROI, also return on investment. If you really put in the work, you'll definitely see some improvement in your life from your sacrifices, even though they're not really sacrifices, but you get the point. So that means hit the gym, lift heavy shit, get into the best shape ever. If you have a negative mindset, work with a professional to get rid of your limiting beliefs. If you're broke, start by getting a job so you're able to afford getting the help you need to work towards a better life. If you know you need to get a degree to increase your income, just go for it, because that time is going to go by whether you do something or you don't. So I heard this quote, and it says that you either pay now or pay later with just about every decision you make about where and how you spend your time. So I'm telling you once again, the best return on investment is the one you get by investing in you. So get that degree, get in better shape, and get your money up. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed so you're notified when there's a new upload. Also, don't forget to share this with your friends and family. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope this episode provided you with the knowledge you were looking for so you keep improving. Until next time.